The War of Caernarvon Crescent.
A week had passed since I returned the bagged up drain matter with the accompanying letter to Quasimodo's ugly stepsister. The crone had said nothing, nor did she do anything. Had I won the war? Had the old crone just given up? Had she re-evaluated her poor choices of retirement entertainments at my expense? One could only hope so. It was the day that my drains were going to get fully flushed out by the contractors, though I was unsure that Haggerford experts had booked the contractors to purge her section. Due to having a massive tubes and cables going through my house for the slurry truck to reach the back garden, it was decided that Ellie would take Aurora and Agamemnon out to her mother's for the day. The last thing we needed was for Aurora to go on a solo walkabout, or Agamemnon deciding that he didn't like the contractors or the equipment and attacking them. It was easier this way. I told the contractors to turn up about 11ish so they could find it easier to park, as most people would be at work and there would be less chance of blocking the road. As expected, the contractors turned up on time, and the closest they could get was the far end of the green, in front of the row of garages. They parked a long ways and blocked off the access to 4 garages. Now, if the old hag had not kicked off about parking on the green, they would have bumped up onto it and not blocked the garages for the best part of an hour. There was a knock on my door from one of the contractors. The pipes from the slurry truck were already connected, filled along the pathway and along the green towards my house. I was impressed. These men were efficient. I opened up the door and invited them in. All in all, it took about 10 minutes to get the pipework through the house and to the drain. Before the men started to pump the drains, one of the contractors pulled out a laptop with a camera on the long bendy mast to stick down the drains and have a little probe around. They started off going downstream and detected a small build-up that they commented on as a normal build-up. Once they're happy, they sent the camera upstream to check the pipe work under Quasimodo's garden. The build-up of drain matter was that dense they had to employ a lot of elbow grease and effort to force the probe along the pipe work. Whilst the contractors and I were looking at the laptop screen, I felt a jab to my lower back from a stick. "You're blocking my garage," snapped the old crone. "What the fuck are you doing coming into my house uninvited, you old bitch?" I snapped as I span around to face the old witch. I was seething. How dare this witch come into my house uninvited? How fucking dare she? And then to prod me with her fucking walking stick. I decided to give the old bitch both barrels of a major cunting. It just had to be done. "Right," I said. "Your garage is going to be blocked for about half an hour, and that is your fault. Had you A, not gone and bitched day after day and week after week to the council about people parking on the green, they could have parked up there and your garage wouldn't be blocked. B, if you hadn't kicked up a stink about the smell and blamed it on my dog, then these men wouldn't be here. And C, maintained your property to a near human standard and not clog your drains in the first fucking place, these men wouldn't even need to be here. Look at that man's screen. That's coming from a camera that they've jammed down the drain, and they are currently in your section of pipework. And it turns out that the smell is the smell of your shit. You're getting the smell of your own fucking shit. Now, these men are going to carry on with what I'm paying them for, and you're going to shut the fuck up, stop the assaults with your fucking stick, and get the fuck out of my house, and they will do what they need to do, and be gone in no time at all." I could see the crone was shaking with fear, but I just didn't care at this point. I turned to the contractor and asked him, "So with this video, are you sending it to the Environmental Health Department so they can order her to hire a contractor to purge the line?" I winked at the contractor, who seemed to be on my wavelength, and he nodded. "Yeah, unfortunately that's what we have to do," the contractor said to the crone. She looked dumbfounded and politely asked the contractor, "How much is this going to cost me?" Behind the old crone's back, I raised 2 fingers to so the contractor could see. I was hoping that he would clock that I'd suggest that he double what I'm paying him. Yet again, the contractor clocked what I was doing, and I just know that he was going to thank me for this. The head contractor beckoned the hag over to follow him out to the slurry truck so I could fill out the paperwork and arrange payment, whilst the rest of the crew began to pump my drains. This was sweet music to my ears. More revenge on the old crone. This was getting too easy to get under her wrinkly, haggard skin. I went to the kitchen and opened up the pantry and pulled out a chunky Monte Cristo cigar. In the box was my cigar cutter and some good old-fashioned non-safety matches. Cigars taste all the more better when lit by a match. I struck the match on the wall outside by the door and lit my tasty cigar. Smoke plumes billowed out of my back door and I began to enjoy my afternoon.
Thank you for listening to the War of Caernarvon Crescent. If you've enjoyed this production from Master X Media, why not check out more content by clicking the link in the description below. Until next time, soldier.